I'm feeling quite nostalgic recently. So what I do when I'm nostalgic is I browse through cookbooks, and I'm looking through my second cookbook, a trip down memory lane, and I happen to stumble across a simple soup recipe, a split pea soup, which I'm going to be making for you today. I hope you enjoy it. It's comforting, it's rich, it's nourishing, and it's soul satisfying. Watch this. To make the split pea soup is really easy. I do not need a lot of ingredients for this. One important thing when I make soup is that I actually never ever use stock. I rely solely on the flavor of the vegetables and the browning that happens inside the pot, or if you're doing browning in the oven. With this split pea soup, all I need is obviously split peas. I need some butter, some garlic, and a couple of bay leaves. And I'm going to add a herb in here, and that's fresh thyme. Here in China, we don't really get fresh thyme readily available, so when I do see it on the shelves, I tend to grab a couple of packets and I freeze them. And all you do is you just open the pack from the freezer and you just scrunch it into the dish that you're making, and it's as if it's been freshly picked. So over here I have some split peas. What I'm going to do with the split peas is that they're going to be added into here with the butter, and I want them to brown. That's going to add a deep smoky flavor. I'm not using any bacon or any form of meat in this dish, and the smokiness comes from the browning of these, which I discovered just by playing. And it's vegetarian friendly, which is really nice. Not vegan friendly because it has got butter. However, you can use oil if you want. And now it's time to assemble the soup. Let's go. Butter, small amount. Butter is in, and allow it to melt gently. And what I'm going to do is to add the onions once the butter is nicely melted, followed by the garlic, the 2 bay leaves, and my split peas. I'm using 3 fat cloves of garlic here. You don't need to crush them because I don't want that acrid burn from the garlic. I want a sort of mellow sweetness. The onions I'm using here are red onions. You can use ordinary white onions. The Spanish white onion is just as good. The red onions add a little bit of sweetness, which is a nice balance when it comes to this soup. The sound of butter sizzling is always a comfort. I'm going to tip in my onions now. I'm using half of a large onion, a very big onion I found. But you can just use 1 medium-sized onion and that will be fine. All I've done here is I've just roughly chopped it. And in it goes. To this I'm going to add a bit of salt. What the salt does is it extracts the moisture from the onion and allows it to soften a lot quicker. So I'm just using about a good teaspoon of salt, chef's measure using hands. Onions are taking on a nice golden color. So I'm going to add my bay leaves. I have 2 bay leaves, just bend them in 2, drop them in. And here I have 3 cloves of garlic, plus 1 that is broken. Tip them in. And don't be alarmed because I'm going to blend the soup so it'll be all silky smooth and fine. The flavors are all conversing and talking to each other, which is exactly what I want here. Having a full-on conversation in here. I'm greeted by such a fragrance. I wish we had smelly vision for you to smell this. It's delicious. Into here I'm going to add some thyme. So this thyme was recently plucked from the grocery store, and I'm just going to pull out, I'd say about a small handful of fresh thyme, not too much. I'm leaving them in whole, and as it cooks the little leaves will break off. Now thyme has the most amazing essential oil, and you can get candles with the fragrance with thyme, you can get massage oils and fragrance with thyme, and you get food that is fragrance with thyme. Enough of thyme, time to press on. And here are the split peas. The split peas, I have just opened a bag of ordinary split peas and I put them in a bowl, and they don't need any washing. I'm using here about 2 full cups of split peas. And once I've added the split peas, I'm going to toast them a little and get their brown nutty flavor developing in here. Once they are nice and brown, I'm going to add water from a recently boiled kettle, and I'm using 1.5 liters of water. You will need to check this because on cooking you may need to add some more water because these do thicken as they cook. So keep an eye on it. So in with the split peas we go. Give them a stir so that each and every piece of onion and split pea are slicked with oniony oils. I love the clattering sound it makes as I stir it against the spoon and the pot. It's all reassuring. The split peas have taken on a brown color. Their little cheeks are tanned. Come have a look. I'm going to add the hot water now, just from a recently boiled kettle. And like I said earlier, 1.5 liters will go in here. It's going to wash them clean and they're going to bubble away and tinker away for about 25 to 30 minutes. Keep an eye on the water quantity though. You don't want it too thick and you don't want it to catch on the bottom. So every now and then lift the lid and give it a stir. Be careful, you are going to get fogged. Stand clear. And that's about it. All I do now is clamp on a lid and allow it to simmer for 20 to 25 minutes, keeping an eye on it. My split pea soup is ready, and now what I want to do is I want to take out the thyme stalks and the bay leaves before I blend. Please don't forget them. So just use a pair of kitchen tongs and fish out the bay leaves. And then you'll see that the thyme has actually, all the little leaves have come off them, so you just have the stalks. If you end up with a couple of them in here, not getting all of them out, it's okay, it's fine. They're not as woody as they were in summer when I got them. What I'm going to do with this is blend the soup, and then I'm going to season it to taste. I'm going to add a bit of black pepper and some salt, and then I'm going to heat it and serve it. Check the consistency of the liquid because split peas, when they are cooked, they do tend to swell and they absorb a lot of the water content. So you may need to add some more hot water from a recently boiled kettle. Silky smooth and ready to serve. Before I serve though, I'm just going to season it. So a little bit of salt will go into here. Not too much because I did add salt initially when I was cooking the onions. And what I did do was add a little bit of salt whilst it was boiling. Try not to add salt too early in the cooking because what that does is it toughens the pea and you don't want that. It will make it a lot more difficult, longer to boil, and it will make it a lot more difficult to blend. And a scrunching of black pepper. Give that a stir through. I do not add any cream to my soups. And a lot of people, they say, wow Mesh, your soups are so rich and creamy. It's because I rely on the natural ingredients and the cooking method and process of it to give me the flavor that is needed. So no cream in here. If however you do want to add some cream, please go for it and do it, but I don't think it's necessary. I have a bowl here and I'm going to ladle up. So this is for me, and I would like semi-full. Not too full, otherwise I won't be able to carry this thing and risk something tragic as scalding my groin or burning something. Before I serve this, I need something dunkable, and I've got just the right thing for it. Some bread. Break it. This is for me. Open it. And butter. Lots of it. Small amount. Slap it on. And apply to face. So good.